good to see you all. I hope your year is going well. Do we have some thumbs up or kind of sideways? It's a little crazy. Some things are crazy. So thank you for joining in today and for us all coming together. I appreciate what you guys do and how you lead. And we want to be a support to you in that leadership role. So not just another thing that's on your list of to do for meeting today, but hopefully a time where you can maybe relax or maybe just collaborate with some others who have similar situations as you and maybe grow and learn together with each other and from each other. So I have on the chat there as we're jumping in, if you'll share something you love about spring. So that's our check-in. And then we'll get started in just a minute. So good afternoon. As you're coming in, if you'll put in the chat something you love about spring. Oh, the ballpark. Is that baseball, softball? Yeah.
It's both.
Oh, both. And probably at the same time and maybe two different cities. I mean, I don't know. Right. Yeah, I like those colorful flowers. The prepping for concerts. Yes, loving that. Good afternoon as everyone's joining in. If you'll share something you love about spring. So today, going to be pretty simple today. Let me share screen with you guys. So can someone speak into my ear that you can see that? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, all right. So keeping it pretty simple today, going to have some announcements we want to share and make sure we know about some upcoming things and that you guys know about those things for your teachers. We're going to kind of share in discussion and collaborate today. I'll share a few pics with you guys. Of course, there's my Tony Tail pic. Got to have that. He's getting fat. I got the Heart for Art Award at MAEA. So kind of happy about that. I enjoyed the NAEA conference in Louisville. I don't think I got to see any of you guys, but it was a great time. Our teachers even let me paint, so that was nice. My son, 26 years old, got a new car. He's still available. So if anyone can help fix him up, that would be great. My father-in-law over there in the corner turned 90 today. So we were down in Arkansas this weekend, help him celebrate there. And that's what the bottom picture is. We also redid his pathway from the door to the car part, the walk. And that's a bigger project than it looked like. So just wanted to share some of that with you guys, what's going on in my world. There's a free Dulcimer workshop on June the 3rd, Tuesday. The QR code will take you to a registration page. If you can, I mean, I will share this PowerPoint with you guys when we get done with the meeting, but if you could share this with your music teachers, that would be fantastic. It's going to be in the Kansas City area at Shawnee Mission South School in Overland Park from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So particularly if you have any teachers in the Kansas City area or in that west side of Missouri, that would probably be an easy, awesome workshop to go to. There are hammered dulcimer and mountain dulcimer artists coming in, not only as an individual, but then I think they're also bringing part of their team that they usually play with, who will also be there to facilitate helping the teachers learn about them, learn how to play them, play with them. So it's going to be fantastic. We're also going to be talking, the Kansas director will be talking about the customized arts learning toolkit that has been designed by CDA, the State Education Arts Agency directors, in collaboration with the Smithsonian. And I'm going to be learning more about it that day as well, but they have ready-made lesson plans connected with the cultures, different cultures from around the country that you may be wanting to explore, and examples and lessons from the actual culture bears. And so making that first resource connection through that's gonna is really awesome. And so she's gonna explain more about that. I'm collaborating with the Kansas director on this workshop. And so the teachers will come away with some ready-made lesson plans. Does anyone have any thoughts or questions about any of that so far? You'll have to speak because I don't see you right now. So sweet. So here's a few things that are coming up that are my calendars that maybe some on your calendar or maybe could be on your calendar. So May the 9th and 10th, I'm hosting, along with the curriculum team here, a writing workshop with cross-curricular different subject areas, fine arts, math, language, with the civics and patriotism. And so I have 8 teachers coming in already, and I have 3 more slots. And so before we leave, I'm going to re-ask you, is there for sure maybe a theater teacher or two that you know who might be interested in doing this conference with us? Their lodging and meals are paid for. They're also going to be coming back with some really awesome stuff. So that's a secret. Um, so before we leave, I'm going to come back and ask you about that. And then the Dulcimer Workshop tab in St. Louis, the Teaching Artistic Behaviors Conference is June 4th and 5th. The Arts Integration in Kansas City is July 15th, 16th. MCDA 22nd through 25th. So, um, but let's go ahead and jump way ahead to October before we come back to what you guys have been doing lately on your calendars. And let's discuss October's the in-person meeting in the fall. And we had kind of narrowed it down to this week of the 6th through 11th. But if today we could nail down a day, that would be awesome. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. So does it look like October 6th, the Monday? Is a Monday a good day? Or would you rather be in the office on Monday and then come on a Tuesday? Okay, so we're putting that on the calendar so that way, as you're planning, you can plan ahead. I know last year we kind of had to plan on short notice. So that's why we wanted to get a date that was easier for you to be planning for. So, okay, October 6th.
Okay.
Cynthia, you've got that down.
I've
Woo!
got it. Yes. Thank you
Love
all
it.
so much.
Yes, thank you so much. So I want to find out what are some things that are on your calendar right now or have been or that are coming up that you could share with us? Something going on at your school or in your world? I'd love to hear.
Uh, there's always something going on, right? I would say right now I'm in the middle of working with our teachers for our all district art show. So we have the art show coming up this week.
And as an all district art show, is that visual art or is that a
Vis-
collaboration of all
yeah,
the arts?
just visual arts, early childhood all the way through high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's huge. That
yeah.
sounds exciting.
We host it at a well, it's at Queenie Park at Greenfelder Center there. So I've been taping the floor and quadrating on things all day.
So Jessica's put in the chat the Springfield Regional Arts Integration Conference. Thank you. And I think what always happens for me is well, no, last year Kansas City was the same time as MCDA. And then I don't know, but okay.
I am definitely planning on attending, Jessica. I'm planning on attending that, and I'm going to take our exhibit booth, so I'll have that there.
We had a great time at the MAEA conference. I don't know if any of you got to attend. It was fantastic. It just had an
It really
energy
was.
and a fun vibe just walking around. So this is going on.
I will say the one push from MAEA Council was how do we get more arts administrators to attend state conferences? and or principals, admin. So if anyone has any great ideas, I would love to hear them. We spoke about how at music conferences, there's so many students there that it entices more supervision, admin attendance, where that's not the case for visual art conferences. So anyway, we would love to hear ideas if anyone has great ideas.
I don't know if it's unique. This is opposite of what you're looking for, I think, Jessica, is that the since being in this role, I've always been surprised that visual arts doesn't the interest in attending a conference and things like that is really low for my teachers versus the music or theater staff. And so I've always been looking for ways to increase. I don't know if it'll ever be through students, but just getting interest in the art teachers to attend.
So Jeff, do you predict that supervision admin attendance is lower based on how many of their own personal teachers are choosing to attend as well?
That's unclear. It could be.
I think for me, it's the timing of the art conference. It always happens around music festival, which not all of us are involved in running, but I run our music festival here, and it was the same day as that conference. So the conference was here in Columbia, and I didn't go because all my teachers went, but I didn't get to go because I was running music festival.
What else is going on in your world? Terry added in Theater Advocacy Day in DC. Is that in the summer?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. In July, yeah. So every other year, the Educational Theater Association hosts an advocacy day in DC. So there'll be members from across the nation that go, and we'll have kind of a training session, and then we'll go follow up with appointments with the legislators, and they kind of come back for a recap and kind of a report of what we encountered, responses, and what are we hearing from the Capitol. So, and then that'll be followed by leadership, and then we'll come back from that as a board and start planning for next year's conference.
So how many of you all will be heading to that?
Well, as of right now, it's just me, but that I know of. Their registration is still open, so I don't know who all else is coming from Missouri, but I know that I'm representing our board.
So Phyllis has in the chat, there's a regional principals zone in the Southeast. Can you talk to us more about that? When you said principal zone, is that like a meeting for that region of
Yeah, the
principals?
Missouri Association of School Administrators, secondary school principals, and elementary school principals all have divided the state up into little chunks. And we haven't yet done anything with those regional principals or regional administrators networks. But I was thinking about Jessica's idea. If we get far enough ahead with our planning, we may be able to have some sort of companion event that will actually draw the administrators into that conference space.
Something we threw out is if it's too hard for them to attend our conference, do we need to bring the learning to them in some way, shape, or form? And if so, what does that look like?
I would like to encourage all of you all, because you are amazing in everything you do, but you also are probably specialists in different avenues of either your role or an arts role. And I would encourage you to apply to those admin conferences to present, so that those administrators can be seeing more sessions with the fine arts hat. Does that make sense? So I'd encourage you, I'm not trying to add to your plate, but even if, each of us did one thing, one session, in the year at any of the different ones that they have, that could be really really beneficial. So I might just think about that as you're planning in the next year. Is there something you could share with administrators? Like, um, one thing I think I might like to do is something about how to how to help them know how to do evaluations of ensemble classes and directors, because they, unless they've had that background as a teacher, it's very different than their normal template they use in a normal classroom, at least it a little bit. So I don't know,
Um,
whatever thoughts you have there, I'd like to encourage you to connect with the administrators if you can.
Kendra, I can't remember, I probably just less than a handful of years ago, EDTA did come up with um, at least, for the theater side, kind of a evaluation guideline, kind of just exactly what you just described, more so for a theater classroom, because it is so much different than like a math or a science. And so I can dig and find that, and send that your way. Just
Yeah,
something.
any resources that we have that we could share with each other that could really help speak into all these different areas, because I'm sure each of you have figured out something that works with your school and your administrators. But if it's something that could be more like a template, or we could go from it and make a template that then people could adapt, that would be awesome. So Terry, that would be great. And what I might do is start a Google folder for us with some resources. So, okay. And I'll start with that template there.
Does
I would
most
like to, I know that Megan was on the call, but she had another meeting she needed to join today too. But Megan is presenting at the National Music Program Leaders Forum this week in Hartford, Connecticut, and she is doing a presentation on empowering principals, empowering music programs, building collaborative partnerships. And so I messaged her about the possibility of presenting that, submitting that to present at one of the admin conferences. So the topics like that are very helpful. And anything that you all have ideas about to present at the elementary or secondary principals conferences would be great.
Anything you wish your administrators would automatically know.
So, Phyllis, we put in last year for Heritage, and we did not get accepted onto those. So, I guess we'll put them in again for next year, just some of the work. But if there's anything that, if we need to send it to you guys to let you know that we put those in to kind of help get that moving a little bit.
That would be great. Could you let me
Okay.
know as you're doing that?
Yeah, because it was the principal that was
Because,
going to lead it that I thought is even better at that point.
okay,
Right.
because
Because they are
sometimes I might know whoever is the person, and then we can say, hey, yeah, make sure it gets on the top of the pile or whatever.
and sometimes they view submissions from their members differently than they view it from any other outside source. They have a sense that if they are a member, it's more directly impactful, and if they're outside the group, somebody's trying to sell them something.
What things are going on at your school? A project you're working on?
We just got done doing a collaboration process or project with the Clay County Prosecutor's Office. And it was a client connected project where they wanted visual artwork for a kids area where kids have to come in and do testing for various things. And it was really kind of a hospital corner. It was very white walled, not very inviting. And so the graphic art students created some designs that they got information from the prosecutor. He came and visited the school and talked to them about the space and what they were looking for. And they made designs up and sent them to the office, and the office chose by a staff vote on which one they wanted to go with. And that vinyl just got installed last week on the walls.
Wow. Collaboration with the community. I love it.
In Nixa, we have something different happening in our district. Our new Performing Arts Center, which is used by all district performing arts and the visual arts as well. We have an art show getting ready to go up into the lobby. But our school communications director books national performing artists to come through shows, concerts, all sorts of things, speakers. So I'm head of operations for that in addition to this job. And really my focus for next year is finding those educational workshops that I can tie those national shows to our community and schools. So I don't have anything specific to share yet, but I'm currently in talks with the road manager, tour managers of those productions that hopefully will open up for all of Southwest Missouri, not just Nixa public schools, but hopefully we can open it up to more school districts.
Janelle, how's it going on your bond and new building and all the equipment and everything?
Well, it's almost wrapped up. So it's going well. We didn't pass our last bond where we were proposing a new high school. So that didn't pass. So now we have plan B to work through. So, but things are going well this year.
And in case we don't all know exactly which areas we are at, let's just take a moment real quick, say your name and what school you're with, and maybe your particular area. So I'm Kendra Franks, Director of Fine Arts at DESE. My background is music ed. And how about Terry? You go next.
I'm Terry Turner. I currently teach theater at Green Valley South Middle School, which is kind of in the Kansas City area.
Allison.
Yeah, I'm Allison Fleetwood. I'm the head of the Nixa School District Theater Program, kind of getting out of the high school and getting more K-12. I do some arts integration stuff, though, across the whole district.
Brianna.
Brianna Kavanaugh. I'm the Director of Fine Arts for Columbia Public Schools. Prior to that, I was a elementary vocal music teacher.
Jessica.
Hello, I am the Fine Arts Coordinator for Springfield Public Schools. And before that, I was a school principal at the elementary level. And prior to that, an elementary visual art teacher.
Jeff.
Yeah, I'm coordinator of fine arts for the Parkway School District. Prior to that, I taught choir for 15 years in the classroom.
Daniel Lewis.
Hello, I still teach band at McClure High School, and I am also the fine arts coordinator for the Ferguson Florissant School District.
So glad you joined us today. Matt.
I'm Matt Allison, Assistant Director of Fine Arts for Liberty Public Schools. And before that, I was K-12 music at Troy in Kansas.
Aaron.
Aaron Money, Director of Fine Arts for Liberty Public Schools, taught vocal music for 10 years.
Kathleen.
I am currently the choir teacher at McKinley Classical Leadership Academy, but starting in June, I will be the Performing Arts Chair for St. Louis Public Schools.
I remember meeting you not too long ago. Thank you. We were helping a teacher of record who was in a challenging situation. Anyway, that's why I was there. So I got to meet Kathleen. Janelle.
I'm in St. Joseph School District. I taught elementary music for several years, and now my title is instructional coach for fine arts and PE, but I also do all the coordinating work. So
PE too?
yeah.
What? Oh my goodness. Dr. Hellman.
Well, hi, everybody. Daniel Hellman. I am the coordinator of music education on the music education faculty at Missouri State. And before I got into the university side of things, I was an instrumental music teacher in Louisiana.
Louisiana, Missouri, or the state of Louisiana?
Hey, the state.
Oh, okay. Cynthia.
I am Cynthia Williams Phelps, and I am the Director of Professional Learning for Missouri Alliance for Arts Education, and my background is in music education.
And Phyllis.
Executive Director for the Missouri Alliance for Arts Education, and my background is music ed. I taught 30 years, most of it in Pattonville School District, elementary music.
Did I miss anyone? Fantastic. So as you can see, we have people from all over the state, which I love, and different areas with visual art, music, and theater. And there are several who also replied that they couldn't meet today at this time who will join us. So I love that. So what are some ways that we can help each other? I want you to think of that question. And as you're thinking of that question, you might want to think of the here and now, but you might also want to think of that next year or that 5 years down the road, right? So it's going to depend on our situation and our setting. Where could I use, some collaborative conversation, like, or just a sounding board? So I'm going to have you be thinking about that, and I'm going to go back and share my screen, and then we'll have some discussion. So you guys helped add in some things onto my calendar that I will try to add in with the things that you mentioned about Bandmasters and the regional arts integration in Springfield. So thank you for that. And then we'll come back to that, I think. So, and then a reminder on the Dulcimer workshop, and then fix. Okay, so giving you kind of a moment, what would be something that you would like collaborative conversation about today? How can we help each other? You have all problems figured out. I knew I was with the stellar group of people here, but I didn't know that I was with the people that had the answers to every problem. Wow, I feel so honored. My goodness, I need to pick all of your brains then. Wow,
Well, I
that's
have
just exciting. Oh wait, somebody's jumping in.
I have something that we've been talking about, like we have done a lot of work with DEI. And as we all know, there's certain things that you can and can't bring out and all of that kind of thing. But at the core of the work really is about belonging and how do we have students and staff feel like they belong. So I'm putting that out there as I feel like it's one of those things that we're really good at in our creative world is the semantics. We get caught up in those a lot. But at the end of the day, it's really about making sure every kid feels like they belong in our classroom. And so it has been, how can we still continue those conversations and moving forward with that frame so that the adulthood that we all are as adults, no matter what our background belief is, it's all about making sure people feel safe and that they are being met to learn in whatever environment they have. So that is something, it's a struggle, but it's not a struggle. because at least the conversations are being had. But I didn't know if anybody else is kind of running into a lot of that topic in your buildings at that time.
To kind of piggyback off what what Aaron just said, we just did a presentation over on the Kansas side at KMEA, and we're basically told like next year we need to rephrase what that presentation is if we want to do it again, because it might not be received the same way if since it's already approved for this year, but for next year it might not be.
Yeah, I actually, a group of us just had a conversation. We were in an advocacy meeting, and one of the educators from Louisiana said, we have essentially been doing that song and dance for a long time. And so she's just known how, she's kind of used to, how to phrase it so it doesn't raise red flags, but still offering. And so that's something when we present this summer, we're going to incorporate that into our presentation as teachers, especially fine art teachers, when that's kind of our game. We're giving kids places that they may not be able to kind of find they don't know where they belong, and then they finally find it in the fine arts. How do we have those conversations with kids, and how do we present those spaces to them without getting in trouble? So I absolutely agree.
It kind of reminds me of, and I don't know if you guys are having this too, with arts integration. When I bring up that word, it has something different than when I talk about being creative in your classroom and being creative and making sure you have an intentionality with art. They're like, oh yeah, we can do that. But as soon as I say arts integration, it like gets to this bogged down curricular aspect that no one seems to want to talk about curriculum. They want to that just happens. That's the boring stuff, unless you really have someone that's really excited about doing that, but more about the semantics of changing it. So Terry, I'm glad you're kind of doing that. And I know we're probably behind the curve as far as nationally in the conversation piece. But it just seems like there's that constant reshuffling and knowing your audience. And as a theater person as well, that's what we do for everything. You have to know what you can present for your audience. Currently, Matt and I have dealt with some things that our theater teachers are like, we want to do this. And I'm like, no, that is not the time, because our audience is not ready for that. I'm not trying to censor you. I'm just being logical. Think about our community and what they will and will not get behind. So I just think we're having to put a different frame and a different lens on that completely.
That's the kind of work that we are going to be doing as we're planning for our professional learning webinars for the fall, is reframing that, still doing the work, still embedding that work, but reframing how we are presenting our messaging and our professional learning networks at Missouri Alliance.
What other wisdom do you have you can share with each other?
I think right now my biggest hill that I'm trying to navigate is that I know that the next at least 18 months are going to be quite a pickle for public education, and trying to help, I guess,
I understand, and I'm not
fine art or theater programs to navigate cuts in budget, cuts in positions, cuts in programs,
that part of it is.
going forward. My hope is anticipating the worst, but hoping for the best going forward. So helping teacher navigate those waters, being prepared so when it does happen, we're able to support and help those teachers.
In a similar way, I'm curious, as people are, as economically, there are many fluctuations happening, and many consumers are choosing to hold their dollars closer to the vest at the moment, and wondering how that will impact the arts education programs that rely on that parent donor to chip in the however much money for the bus or the ticket or the whatever. As those funds become more scarce, where can we turn to ensure that elements of the programming continue, or do we have to trim them? You're supposed to have all the answers, people.
You know, it's interesting you asked. So one of the budgetary, or at least regarding to the budget right now for next year for Parkway, at least, there's a lot of concerns about what that tax hold is on the when you hit a certain age, they can freeze their taxes. I'm not old enough to worry about it, but it's a thing, and they're worried about what that impact is, along with federal funding and what that would be. So we're taking a softer approach of cutting back some travel, cutting back other things, and so just a conversation with my teachers is that we still want you to go to the marching band festivals, but maybe instead of 5, you're going to 3. So we're starting to look at some of just still providing opportunity for kids, but are there things that we can pull back a little bit just to kind of trim off the excess fat?
And from an advocacy standpoint, Jeff,
Yeah.
those are the things that are invisible. They're visible to you, but they're not necessarily visible to the rest of the world. I was sitting in the State Board of Education meeting in March, or it must have been March. And the Perry Gorel, who is the government relations guy for DESE, was talking about the incredible importance and the impact of local school districts sharing their financial story so that the fiscal notes that the legislators receive when they're looking at whatever's going on are accurate, and like, this is the impact of that tax incentive or that decrease or that whatever. And I guess what I'm trying to say is any information that you can provide to your local districts people, who are also then providing that information to the DESE folks, who are then helping get the fiscal notes in the Office of Administration to get those written, help tell that story. I don't know. I'm speaking like
Yeah,
I
I don't know
really know what I'm
no, it's
talking
okay. I don't know the structure beyond, like, obviously my bosses know how we're cutting and trimming, and a lot of the decisions are coming from them. I don't know how that reports beyond that, if that makes sense.
And I think it's not customized or not codified, that just certain districts have crunched some numbers and have shared that information with DESE, and it does help.
Right. The other thing I know we'll be cutting back next year is the conference attendance. We're going to be cutting back professional travel as well. So I know we're seeing some impacts there.
Speaking about the numbers, and I heard picture reminded me of when I was at the MMEA board meeting last weekend. One of the things I asked the district reps were, can I have those numbers? So can I have the numbers of how many students participated in district, not just the ones who made state, but the ones who participated? Because I think if I can start collecting these numbers of the students that are involved in these amazing things that we do in our arts education in the state, I can start creating this picture. Because right now, I think we might have really good pictures in each of maybe with our school or with our region, but I want to create this bigger picture, the impact of this. Is that making sense? Anyway, so I'm going to have to start small with collecting those numbers, but I want to create the picture of the impact of arts in the state.
I bet James Melton would be willing to provide you with those, like the statewide numbers for participation in the Mission
Yes.
Music festivals.
Yeah, I've connected with him for the mission numbers. So yes, thank you. I'm reading here in the chat from Erin, from Jessica on the arts integration.
Yeah,
So I should talk creative learning is what I should be saying now.
well, I'm not saying you have to
I
say
love
that,
it.
but when Aaron mentioned that sometimes he's getting a little pushback on full on arts integration, um, this district in Austin, Texas had the same kind of barrier arise. And so they switched their approach. So they give a lot of, they teach a lot of activities that aren't full on arts integration, but they're using the arts for processing purposes or to move the learning forward. So it may not be this parallel, we have an arts standard and a instant subject standard happening at the same time, but it is realizing the weight that processing through art forms can, they provide great processing opportunities. And they just felt like once they switched over to that language and that approach, that it was less intimidating for people to engage in the work. Because an English teacher didn't feel comfortable teaching a visual art standard, but they felt great teaching an activity that used visual art to process. So anyway, I just thought it was really helpful, and their website has some of their activities. Aaron and I are the only two districts that go to those Kennedy Center conferences through Any Given Child and Communities in Partnership. And that's how we engage with Sloan specifically from Austin. And she's just done some great work moving creative practices that aren't necessarily full-blown arts integration. I'm sure Brianna has seen her as well when she was going to those conferences.
And I think the terminology maybe we used in the past was arts enhancement, but I love how you're wording that with the processing and the practicing, the creative learning. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to take up y'all's talking, but that was awesome. So Cynthia, if you want to share some slides that she has, she's going to give us a few reminders of some opportunities you can have with your teachers. Do I need to? I'm not sharing, so you're good.
So just a few reminders of some things that are coming up and some things that we are offering. We are through May offering graduate credit for our professional learning opportunities. And this is through Lindenwood University. If you have any teachers that are interested in earning graduate credit, please contact me and let me know.
Cynthia, did you happen to have a slide on that? Could you share it? Is that possible?
I am sharing. Can you all see? Can everyone? Okay. Yes,
I just
am
don't
sharing.
see it. Okay, I just don't see it for some reason. Okay, making sure they did. Okay.
Yes, okay. And then we have our final collaborative IDEA and main session with Dr. Phil Woodmore on the art of transformation, harnessing music and theater for social justice and education. That will be May 5th at 5:30 p.m. And if you have any teachers or if you are interested in coming, teachers, colleagues, this is going to be a fantastic workshop webinar from 5:30 to 6:30 on May 5th. And he will be talking about his work in music and theater and addressing social justice and fostering community dialogue. And then we also, as Kendra mentioned, we have the TAB St. Louis workshop coming up June 4th and 5th, and that will be at Merrimack Elementary School. If you have teachers that are interested in learning about teaching artistic behavior choice, please let us know. We've got more information on our website, and would love to have more teachers join in that professional learning. And then just a reminder, the Arts Integration Symposium's coming up in July 15th and 16th at Liberty High School, and in Springfield, also July 15th and 16th. And then if you have any fine arts festivals coming up or throughout the year in your school district, at your school, please let us know. I will be taking our exhibit booth to the Republic High School one fine night in May. I know there's one at Parkview coming up this week on Thursday. And I had the opportunity to attend a workshop on how to create, how to curate and coordinate a fine arts festival. There were some teachers from Monette, and they gave a workshop at MAEA. So I am very interested in gathering resources. And if any of you have those coming up, please those dates, and we are happy to share those on our information page. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Cynthia. So we wanted to keep it simple today, make sure we heard some of the amazing things you guys have going on, and some of the things that some of the projects and maybe Hills, as Terry mentioned it earlier, that you're working through. But want to remind you all that we have each other, and that we here with the Alliance and DESE, we want to make sure you know that you're supported, and that we will help you in any way that we can. I will come visit with you at your school, or you can text me and we can meet for coffee or whatever. I'll do that anytime. And I know they would do that as well. So thank you all for meeting. I hope you all will have a great summer. I know we work 12 months of the year, but hope that you will find some time to be with family and enjoy those spring flowers and ball games and stuff you were talking about. We will look forward to hosting you in person for a day on October the 6th.
October 6th.
Thank you. And we'll make sure you have info about that and everything, so you can make more plans for that. So thank you all so much. And if we can help each other, let me know, email or call. I would love to hear from you. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Good to
Bye.
see you.